Poundfest here in McAllen. Joe Bowling with you, Bert Ruiz on the camera, Billy Watson on my side, DeMarcus Clark running around the gym getting photos and taking care of the social media. We've got you covered here. This game is our final game of day one coverage and pool play, and it will have the Edinburg North Lady Cougars taking on the Weslaco East Lady Wildcats. Both teams 1-1 in pool play, and so this will decide the second place team in this pool, as the winner has already been established with McAllen, the host school, running the table here in pool play. So the McAllen Lady Bulldogs will be playing back on this gym tomorrow, representing Pool 1. Meanwhile, the winner of this game will be playing in Pool 3 tomorrow, which will be played at McAllen Memorial, or check that, McAllen Row School. As again, they use the three schools to set up where these games will be played until they eventually land here for the championship day on Saturday. So second place on the line here in this pool. It's a meaningful game between these two teams. Early season volleyball action from the Poundfest tournament action here at McAllen. They're checking some last minute rotation notes. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the first serve.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Hi, we're Mission Veterans, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live. Woo!
Back here on Real Sports Live as we are underway. Edinburg North scoring a point on a service there, and they lead 1-0 as we begin play. Back of the service line, Hannah Duffy puts that over. That sails out of bounds, and so it ties us up at 1 apiece. Weslaco East in the dark uniforms with the light trim, and the Edinburg North Lady Cougars with the white uniforms and the navy blue trim. First game of two here. Again, our final pool play coverage here of day one. That's 2 hits called against Edinburg North on a return to serve, and a 2-1 lead for Weslaco East. We will be moving over to McAllen Memorial tomorrow. That's been confirmed now for day 2 coverage of this tournament. I'll tell you a little bit why on that. That one goes into the net and ties us up at 2 apiece. Over in Gym 2 here today at McAllen, Coach Becky Wood of the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons and her team swept the 3 games in their pool to capture pool number 2 and advance to play at McAllen Memorial tomorrow. And by those 3 wins and a win which happened on Tuesday night, she's poised to win her 700th game as a coach. And so we wanted to be there to broadcast that game for you live. And so we will have coverage of it tomorrow from McAllen Memorial, as Los Fresnos has advanced by winning their pool. We'll be back here on Saturday at the primary gym of this tournament, where the championship games eventually will be played. But again, tomorrow our coverage will come from McAllen Memorial, and already we've circled 1 game. That would be the second game of the day for the Lady Falcons, as they'll be taking on McAllen Memorial, who also has run the table on their pool. Ball at the net punched over. That sails out of bounds, and a point to Edinburg North. They don't go up 5-3. 6 pools total in this tournament, 2 here at McAllen, 2 over at McAllen Memorial, and 2 at Nicky Rowe. And they break out the winners and keep the first and second place teams in those pools playing against one another. As Norris scores again with another hit, this time off a block at the net. And so Edinburg North up early here, 6-3. Serve across played by Weslaco East. Back row kill attempt, that's off a tip on the block. Cougars on the attack from the right side, get that back over. Weslaco East coming right back at you, trying to set something up on the offensive end. And 4 hits called on Edinburg North, a point for East. And that was just a point in which Weslaco East did nothing more than keep the ball in play. And eventually rewarded with the point. And we are ready to go with the next serve for the Lady Wildcats. That's Laisha Castillo who puts this one in play. Return a serve by Kaylee O'Brien, but then 2 hits called after the pass. Another point to Weslaco East, and the Lady Wildcats now a chance to tie this game. We kind of figured on paper as we looked at these two teams, the way they played. They come in 1-1 in pool play, each having defeated Porter and losing to McAllen. But just in the way they played, you kind of figured this was going to be a close game. I don't see anybody running away with it on either side of the net. Substitution in the game for Edinburg North as Shayla Gaitan checks into the game. Gaitan ready to go. Brings it across, played by Weslaco East. They'll set it up on the right side. That's Brisa Guzman, puts that off the back row, stays alive as Edinburg North defensively made the adjustment, covered it. Another set, middle this time. That's going to be a lift and a point to Edinburg North. Lady Cougars up 3. Back serving, Gaitan puts that just over. Ball at the net, spiked over. Played by the Lady Cougars of Edinburg North. Now a challenge at the net, ball still alive, and a point for Weslaco East. Lady Wildcats winning that challenge there at the net. And they'll earn the serve. Guzman ready to put it into play. Lady Cougars, the libero back there as Ivana Ramos. Ball up at the net. That's going to be 4 hits against Weslaco East, and Edinburg North maintains that 3-point lead. Lady Cougars rotate back. Kaylee O'Brien to the service line. O'Brien, a right-handed server. Over on the east side, a high set right side, spiked across, punched up in the air. Nice recovery by Jessica Dreyer. Ball over on the Weslaco East side. They'll set it on a back set back row attempt. Spiked over, played by the Lady Cougars. Two-handed back over on the Weslaco East side. Lady Wildcats tip it over down the sideline, played by the Lady Cougars. Big attempt, big kill, down it goes. Hannah Duffy. 4-point lead for Edinburg North. (10-6) ball game. Weslaco East on the return of serve. Chance here for Edinburg North. Setting it off the net right side. Good dig that time by Arlinda Amaya for Weslaco East. Back row attempt. This is Shyla Gaitan. That is out of bounds as it sails too far. Weslaco East with a point and a serve. Put that into play. And that one goes out of bounds in the back corner. Another point for the Wildcats. Adriana Gonzalez will serve again. Gonzalez with a jump serve. Libero serving to Libero there as Ramos on the return. Wildcats set it in the center. Spiked across, but the angle too extreme and out of bounds it goes. Point to Edinburg North, who since gaining a 3-point lead has just maintained that. Controlling the pace of this game. That was nearly out on the back row, played by Weslaco East. Hit over by Megan Gonzalez. Edinburg North sets up Duffy again. This time the back row is there to cover that for Weslaco East. North on the attack again. Lady Cougars setting up center. Left-handed swipe that time and a kill by Victoria Foz. Foz got the kill. 12-8 game. Serve across is a deep serve. Again, punched up in the air by Weslaco East. They'll return it. Edinburg North with a good chance on a back row attempt. Off the net, that's a point on a kill off the back row for Ivana Ramos. Lady Cougars go 5. Timeout Weslaco East.
Close. We are this close. From 120 to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We're this close.
This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease.
Ever again. This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio.
All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Back here on Rio Sports as we continue our coverage. Wow. Setting up some good action over in Donna. Results of a game just in. San Benito victorious today over Donna in a 5-set thriller. Both of those teams involved in tournament play over there. By the way, fans, I want to encourage you to go to our website. We have tournament pages up for you to cover or follow your team throughout play of the tournaments that we're covering, both here at McAllen and in Donna. Weslaco East scores, gets it back to a 5-point game. Lady Wildcats are going to have to draw a line in the sand here soon and stop the trading of points back and forth. They'll rotate in Arlise Munoz, who will serve it up and nearly gets the ace. Played over on the Weslaco East side. High set, back set, right side. Spiked across, a kill and a point for Weslaco East. Lady Wildcats building a little momentum there. Gaining a little more there. 3-point game. This is where the comfort zone has been, though, for the Lady Cougars of Edinburg North. And so this is the important part to turn the next page for Weslaco East. Nothing doing as that one lands, resulting in a point for Edinburg North. Lady Cougars go back up by 4. Wildcats set it up from that left side. That's Jalen Mata putting it over. Back on the Weslaco East side. Lady Wildcats with a center set. Tipped over the blockers. Punched up in the air by Caitlin Lozano. Ball back on the east side. Tipped into the net. Point Edinburg North. Lady Cougars, in that case, page out of what Weslaco East was doing early on. Just keep the ball in play long enough, your opponent makes an error, and you gain the point. Cougars on the attack here for Edinburg North. Down the sideline, and a point. Lady Cougars now up by 6. Coverage tomorrow back here for this tournament. We're at McAllen Memorial. First game, 9 o'clock. Billy Watson, Bert Ruiz will split off in the direction of Donna, home of the Bravettes, and they'll be covering that tournament with their first game at 10 o'clock. And on Saturday, we'll be back here, and they'll be back there. They get 7 games on day 2. They get all the quarterfinals, the 2 semifinals, and the championship game, all on their main gym over at Donna. Weslaco East trying to get back in this one, hit that in the net, and now suddenly find themselves down 9 at 19-11. We should have the updates on where the teams are playing tomorrow from this tournament within an hour or so after we break down. And so we'll have our schedule of coverage games for you as that one sails in the net. And Edinburg North now up by 9 at 20-11. Anna Duffy back at the service line. With some pace, that's an ace served up by Duffy, and the Lady Cougars up double figures. Point to Weslaco East. The Lady Wildcats needed that, if nothing more, than just to take the momentum away from the Lady Cougars. Tipped over the block here. Lady Wildcats punch it over. Cougars with a back set this time. Punch it over. Lozano made the play. Now a big set for the Wildcats, but out of bounds it goes. Set up Alondro Perez, and she came with the extra effort. Ball sailed out of bounds. Cougars back to serve. This is Ivana Ramos. Ramos with a wicked serve. Nice return, though, by Weslaco East, but then 2 hits is called after the pass. Give credit, though, to Alyssa Castillo back there on the dig on that return of serve. She kept it in play. Another nice dig, this time on the back row by Adriana Gonzalez. Ball on the north side. Great recovery. Ball back over on the east side. Ball at the net, spiked over. Down and in, point, Edinburg North. And that had some nice play on both sides of the court before the eventual kill for the Lady Cougars. Serving now for the game. Punched over. Cougars for the win right here. Nice play at the back row. Ball off the net. And they should call that 4 hits. They do. 4 hits, game over. Edinburg North wins game 1, 25-12. Game 2 coming up right after this.
About athletes at the same time. Mark the calendar now and plan on attending October 20th as the 3-up, 3-down San Perlita Booster Club Fishing Tournament looks to be the biggest and best yet. Located at Laguna Madre Baits in Port Mansfield, Texas, this tournament is set to provide 100% of the proceeds directly to the athletic programs. Artificial lures only with a blackjack format, no fish over 21 inches, $150 per team or boat, maximum 4 people, and the grand champion is a team closest to 63 inches with 1 red trout and 1 flounder. Food raffles, baked goods, a silent auction, and terrific prizes from some great sponsors. Registration is October 19th. The tournament is October 20th. See you there at the 3-up, 3-down fishing tournament in Port Mansfield, where catching fish is helping athletes in a big, big way. When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits.
828 Westport Drive, Fort Mansfield, Texas.
Back here, Rio Sports Live. Joe Bowling with you. Billy Watson taking some notes and posting some of the bigger plays already on social media. Bert Ruiz on the camera. Marcus Clark also on social media, gathering photos. And as you saw there, we have some of the football players who are now active in our broadcast with the, you're watching Rio Sports Live. We'll have volleyball added to the mix as early as tomorrow. As we continue to reach out to these teams, players, and coaches and fans to be a part of our broadcast. Game 2 begins with Weslaco East serving up. Before that, there's the officials taking some added time to check the rotation. So the Lady Wildcats not wanting to fall to third place here in this bracket. As we wrap up pool play, Edinburg North trying to capture second place with a win. Serve over, Wildcats. Play it to the center. In the net it goes, though. Point Edinburg North, and that's the way we start game 2. Lady Cougars to serve it up. Short serve over, played by Weslaco East, and that's going to be a 2-hit violation. Off the second touch, they'll award the point to Edinburg North. Jessica Dreyer back there to serve. Lightning serve, that's an ace. Makes it a 3-0 game. Dreyer to serve again. Deeper serve, this time the back row unable to return that. That's back-to-back aces and a 4-0 game. Another serve by Dreyer. Nice pass this time, a big set, spike across, down and in on a kill by Megan Gonzalez. That was by far the best play for Weslaco East, including game 1 and here in game 2. Makes it a 4-1. Lady Wildcats, Erlinda Amaya to serve. Gets that over on the Edinburg North side. High set, spiked across, out of bounds it goes as it carries beyond the line on the back row. 2-point game as Amaya serves again. Right down the middle, this time played by the Lady Cougars on a back row attempt. That's in the net. Another point to Weslaco East, and after giving up 4 straight to start the game, Lady Wildcats now in position to tie this up. Return a serve by the Lady Cougars. Set it up off the net, spiked off the block. Scrambling defensively, Wildcats get it back over on the Edinburg North side. Cougars attack again. Duffy on the kill attempt. Nothing there as it's played. Again, they'll set up Duffy on that left side. Hammers it down and in. Point Edinburg North. Consistently going back at Hannah Duffy. Lady Cougars able to gain that point. Ball up high off the net. That's going to be a point to Edinburg North. Lady Cougars back up by 3. They have never trailed here in games 1 or 2. Lady Wildcats punch that over on the Wildcat side. A high set down the line this time, and that's good for the point on a kill by Jasmine Barajas. Barajas with the kill. Good serve again by the Lady Cougars. Spiked across. Edinburg North on the attack with a back set this time. Tipped it over the block. Played by Weslaco East. This is Risa Guzman trying for the kill. A 7-4 game. Lady Wildcats to serve it up. Good pass for Edinburg North. On the back set, covered though by Weslaco East. Up to the top, play back over on the Edinburg North side. Lady Wildcats attacking again. Just over the net, played by the Lady Cougars. A high set, looking down the side again. Punched in the air, and a point for Edinburg North. Hustling play back there by Adriana Gonzalez just to get a hand on that ball. Point for the Lady Cougars to serve in the net. Same tone as what we had in game one. Edinburg North with that 3-point lead. It was challenged a couple of times, never eclipsed. And then they ballooned it out into the double-digit lead and the eventual easy win. Spike across this time by the Lady Cougars. They'll attack again. A high set middle this time. Back row there to play that for Weslaco East. Ball back on the Edinburg North side. Back to the Weslaco East. Wildcats attack again. Just off the tip at the block at the net. Ball back on the Weslaco East. A long rally here. Down the backside. Nice play this time by the Lady Cougars. That's the libero digging that out. Ivana Ramos. Ball at the net, tipped over. Coverage there as Jessica Dreyer keeps this in play. This one's down, played by Weslaco East. Big kill attempt, out of bounds it goes. Going for a little extra that time, Weslaco East battling for that point and earning the tally. 8-6 game. Cougars spiked that past the block. Return though as Guzman was able to dig it from the back row. Ramos passes it forward. Second hit over, and here comes Weslaco East on the attack. Center tipped off the block. Point Weslaco East. Arlise Munoz. 1-point game. Lady Wildcats to serve again. Deeper serve, this time played by Edinburg North. Ball over on the Wildcat side. Chance now to tie this game. Back set leads to the hit. Played by Ramos. Pass forward, set it on the back set. Down for the angle, that's in. Another point for Edinburg North. They go back up 2. Lady Cougars. It's a comfort zone you land in when you just continually, you're challenged, but you always have that lead to work with. They'll serve across this time, a short serve, and that's an ace. Catching the back row off guard, an ace served up by Ariana Gonzalez. Gonzalez will serve again. Wildcats on the attack. Back row there to play it for the Lady Cougars of Edinburg North. That's 2 hits. Point to Weslaco East. It was right about here that Edinburg North shifted into another gear in game 1 and ran away with the win. See if the Wildcats can keep them at least within range. Castillo serves it up. Kill attempt to cross for the angle. That goes out of bounds. Another chance now for Weslaco East to tie this game. Short serve. Played by Edinburg North. Back row attempt off the tip. Kept alive. Nice play by the back row of Weslaco East. Cougars set it up here in the center. That's out of bounds. All tied up at 10 apiece. Back row that time coming into play for Weslaco East and the Lady Wildcats. Lady Cougars now setting it up with a high back set. Cougars now watching as the East attack lands in the net. So tied, yes, but no lead yet for Weslaco East. Shayla Gaitan checks in to serve for Edinburg North. Gaitan gets it just across the net. Ball up high in the middle. Too hard on the attack. Out of bounds it goes. Two-point lead. Lady Cougars wanting more. And they'll get it as they can't get this one back. Wildcats kept it alive, punched it in the air a couple times, just never carried it over. 3-point lead. O'Brien to serve again, or check that. That's Gaitan serving for Edinburg North. And a well-placed hit by Weslaco East. 2-point game. Substitution in the game now for East. Aislinn Meza checks in the game. Lady Cougars on the back row attempt. Back row there to play that. Right back over on the Edinburg North side. On the short set. Played back on the Weslaco East side. Back row spikes that over. Punched up in the air. Cougars will get it back over again. Terrific rally here. Center set, point, Weslaco East. So now even points earned. When they get them, Edinburg North is having to work, but starting to even things out on these rallies. On the longer sustained rallies, the Wildcats are able to gain a point or two. Miss hit on that serve results in a point for Edinburg North. Lady Cougars rotate back Kaylee O'Brien to serve, and that's good for the point. Lady Cougars back up by 3. (15-12) your score. Short serve across. Good pass this time for the Wildcats. The hit off the block falls, and that'll be another point for Weslaco East. Lady Wildcats within 2. Gonzalez back to serve. Deeper serve this time, played off that back row, setting it up for the middle. Covered on the kill attempt. Ball back over on Edinburg North side. Another center attempt. This time the big swing reaching out off the tip, and that's a point on a kill by Hannah Duffy. Duffy had rotated back to the front row, and immediately they go to her. Able to score the point. Jessica Dreyer back at the service line now. Before that, a timeout. With that, we'll be right back.
Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
Truck Techs in Harlingen is your source for lifts, wheels, and tires. Talking trucks of any size, any model, and any year. Specializing in accessories with top-of-the-line products to bring that special look to your truck in a professional way. Lifts, wheels, and tires, with financing available too. Call today or stop by Truck Techs in Harlingen.
After After the timeout, Edinburg North with a 3-point lead, and they'll continue to serve. Jessica Dreyer back with the jump serve, gets that into play. Punched up in the air by the Wildcats, set it off the net to Megan Gonzalez. That goes out of bounds. And another point to Edinburg North. Lady Cougars up now by 4. Dreyer to serve again. Wildcats on the return to serve. A set by Erlinda Amaya. A big hit, but out of bounds. Too strong on the hit by Aislinn Meza. Cougars up 5. Dreyer to serve again. Back set this time, punched over. Played up by Edinburg North, a high set. Off the block, another kill for Hannah Duffy. Reminding you, we'll be having our player of the game named here after this one. And with our player of the game, we end up posting a video of the players alongside a photo now. We'll be scrambling to see if we can get photos of some of these players who have been named players of the game. But we'll have recognition of them nonetheless. Wildcats called for 2 hits, another point for Edinburg North. And now an 8-point lead for the Lady Cougars. Timeout is, or not a timeout, but a substitution checks in. Gabriela Reyna now in the ball game for Weslaco East. Jump serve for the Wildcats. Reyna becomes a setter, and she's called for 2 hits. 9-point lead, Edinburg North. Each team has gone 1-1 coming into this in pool play. Cougars now in control. Then they serve up an ace. 23-13 now. Lady Cougars a couple of points from putting this one away. Another substitution off the bench as Weslaco East trying to mix and match the players, find the right chemistry. Brisa Guzman checks back into the game. Meanwhile, here's Jessica Dreyer with yet another serve. Deeper serve, played by the back row. Up high, off the net, Gonzalez tips it over. Lady Cougars with a center set, and out of bounds it goes. 23-14, Billy's over here practicing his officiating skills. I'm glad he understands the hand signals because I watch a lot of it and I still don't in some cases. 9-point game, diving play by the Lady Cougars to keep that alive. Wildcats on the attack from the right side. Back row there to play that. Chance again for Weslaco East to set up something here, looking for the point from the center, off the block. That's good. Point, Weslaco East. Megan Gonzalez on the kill. Another serve by Amaya. Cougars get it over. Opportunity here for the Wildcats. Ball back up around the net. In the net it goes. Point, Weslaco East. Seven-point game. Serve across a short one. That is an ace served up. Make it a 23-17 game. Serve across, played by Edinburg North. Ball off the net, and a point for the Lady Cougars. They withstood that little mini run by Weslaco East and now poise themselves to wrap this up. After winning game one, 25-12, Anna Duffy back at the line. Deep serve played by the back row of Weslaco East. Cougars now looking to put it away with a high set, good set off the block. Coverage on the back row by Weslaco East. Cougars attacking again, spiking it. And another point for Weslaco East as they stave off a game point. Back to serve is Jalen Mata. Deep serve. Good pass right on the money. High set on a back set. Reaching out and down it goes. Point Edinburg North, and they win it 25-18. They took game one 25-12. And then wrap it up here, winning game two. And in essence, taking second place in the pool. Wraps up our day one coverage here from the Mackay 2019 Volleyball Poundfest. Our player of the game, I'm going to give it to Hannah Duffy. Duffy instrumental in some of those big kills early on when, especially in game one, when Edinburg North established control, and then it went from a close game to an easy win for the Lady Cougars. She was instrumental in game two as well, in on most of the big plays and staying active at the net. 25-18 the final score. That's going to do it for our broadcast. We got to get some commercials ready for Billy's computer for tomorrow and get our scoreboards and everything ready for tomorrow's action. Reminding you again, this system will be at McAllen Memorial tomorrow as we'll continue coverage of this tournament, but from another venue. We'll be back here at McAllen on Saturday for the championship day. The eventual championship game will be played here on this court. Meanwhile, Billy Watson and Bert Ruiz will head off to Donna and start 2 days of coverage from the Donna volleyball tournament. We'll see the likes of San Benito, of Harlingen South, Mercedes, Raymondville, LaGruya, Donna, and some of the schools over there as we expand the coverage to start the volleyball season. Till next time, from McAllen, for Bert Ruiz at the camera, Billy Watson, in this case, in a supportive role, and DeMarcus Clark active in his duties as well. Till next time, so long.